together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Trudging Tuesdays. Trudging Tuesdays, because I have therapy in 40 minutes. Good morning. I slept in. Oh boy, did I sleep in. Did it on purpose. I had some things I had to take care of. I know that probably sounds weird to everybody else, but it's part of the world that I live in. Or used to. I mean, Dion's had about enough. It's had about enough. But we will get to that. Good morning or good afternoon, Amber. Good to see you. Man, I look bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I don't feel it, but I look it. Hi, I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Man, so I went and I bought a little heater for outside for when I smoke. Right, doesn't work too well in on the outside. Well, it works all right in the garage. Right, so it was a little too cold down here, so I brought it down here. Even on low, this thing's frying my ass. $30, man. Goodbye. I'd have to say it was a good buy. Not goodbye as a goodbye, but it was a good buy. All right, let me go ahead and turn it off. That's enough. A little too hot. Feeling hot. Now it's going to get too cold. It's got to be the right temperature for me. What if we did this? What if we did a little... Here we go. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to face it towards the wall so that way the heat will hit the wall and kind of fill the room up with heat, but not have the heat right on me. There we go. Happy Tuesday to you. Yeah, we're back to a regular week for a little bit. We had our traditions meeting last night on tradition 12. Went fairly good. They seem to end a little early. But people seem to appreciate them. You know. Got my first comment on Substack. In fact, Angel, it was about our friend, because we did a podcast together. They'd like her to be, what's the comment? He said, there's a great episode and super honest. So many people have misconceptions about what it is we do as recovery coaches, and the clarity is definitely needed. I also have my own coaching business I just launched and would love to cross refer with whoop. May not be fully online, whereas I am fully web-based. See? So see, something came out of it. just by running your mouth a little bit. I have some new ones starting next Tuesday. Roger McDermott and I will be starting a podcast series called God-Centered Recovery. I'm going to start learning more about the Bible, and other ways that I can find God in my life, in your life, and everybody else's life. I'm going to become very God-centered, even more than I am now. Some people may even dare to call me religious. And at this point, I no longer fucking care. I don't. It's done. I watched a video this morning and it answered everything for me. I knew there was an answer coming. I've been feeling a change coming on last month. And just like there was a day last week when I wasn't the same person I was the day before, it happened again. and I'm not. All right. So I saw a post. I can't find it now, even though I showed it on my Facebook. I guess you couldn't cross post it. Right. But we will get to that. We're gonna get to it. Right. A lot of it is let go. Here's the thing. When what kind of message did he send that in? Message. Okay. Let's just go ahead and go to the funnies for today. You know what time it is. It is time for Dion's Daily Jokes, where we pull up some dad jokes that are guaranteed. They say they're guaranteed to make you laugh. All right. Got to scroll down a little bit. Okay. And then we got to set this up. Okay. What do you call a Frenchman wearing sandals? Philippe Flop. Philippe Flop. Why is it so cheap to throw a party at a haunted house? Because the ghost brings all the booze. That's important. But I'm an alcoholic, and I don't know if I trust those ghosts to bring enough booze. So I'm still gonna pregame. You alcoholics know what I'm talking about, right? A fear came up during that joke, didn't it? Was there enough booze? How many ghosts are we talking about? Who else is going to be there? If you're bringing the booze, is it enough? That is a concern of an alcoholic. That's a much better joke than the original joke, I think. I don't get why Marvel doesn't use the Hulk to advertise more. He's basically one big banner. Hulk smash. Which days are the strongest? Saturday and Sunday. The rest are weekdays. Oh. That's good. Good morning, MK Millionaire. Good to have you. Heather. The tailgate before the tailgate. There's always some kind of pre-gaming going on. Yeah. Even when I went to the bar, I usually had a fifth on me, fifth of beam. I didn't have much money, man. So a lot of people thought I had a lot of money. No. No, it was a facade. I made it look like I made money, but no. I mean, I kind of learned that. I remember when I was 12, 13, we went to the Western Stock Show, right? All right. And my dad gave us $40 each, right? Which was a lot. That was a lot back then. And what I did is I went and bought something, but I asked for change all in ones. And then I put my 20 around the one and flash that around so the girls would be impressed. That was at 12. That was even then. I wasn't drinking yet. Was I drinking? I don't know. It's kind of a blur. Did you do things like that when you were a kid? I certainly did. All right. I'm tiptoeing around all of this because it's hard to talk about. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm your host for now and the foreseeable future. I'm trying to go to say hello up here, but it keeps going over the thing. All right. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Okay. Let's get this party started. So I put a comment that the disrespect was the closure, but I kept holding on to this. See, it is clear that there were some people in my life, including people that were supposed to be responsible for me, did not do their job. They did not protect me from the evil world out there. There were some things that happened right? In the last 9 months, I started having flashbacks of being sexually abused in the bathroom by my uncle. Okay. But I'm going to tell you something. It was that flashback that started the healing. I know. See, I've already kind of worked through the other stuff, but what is it? It is the basis of most of my troubles. And I didn't know how to take this. I want to be angry. That's what I want to be. But mostly, I'm sad. I'm hurt, disappointed. Yeah, it wasn't fair. It wasn't right. There are a lot of things in my life that happened that weren't fair or right, but they still happened. They still happened. So the question is, what am I going to do about it? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do about it. Nothing. It is not in my hands anymore. This is between them and God. This is between them and the pearly gates. Okay? If these people were ever going to be willing to sit down and talk about what actually happened, it would have already happened. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to take accountability. But isn't there's part of us that want other people to take accountability, since I'm a person who runs around and takes accountability for everything that I do. Everything. I take accountability for it. If I am wrong, I admit it. So why can I why is it, right? Okay. That's gonna it's fucked up. We run around, we do our 8th and 9th step, but we know that there's amends coming back to us. Deep, deep amends. And gosh, these are just pushed to the side. And you don't get your justice. They got their justice, but you didn't get your justice. Who delves out justice? Because it ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't a judge. I ain't a jury. And I certainly ain't God. So what justice are we talking about? What about my own justice? What about me? Right? See, we deserve to live a happy, joyous, and free life. And thank you, Heather. I appreciate that. Heather says, I'm sorry that you went through that. I'm okay with it now. 9 months ago, I was not. Okay? It was between my mother. It was between my wife and my therapist. That's who I talked to about this stuff. They're the only people to see. It was hard. It's hard to talk about because there's a trust level. Now where's that trust level with these people? Because I'm going to see them again. It's going to happen. Now, the person that abused me, I won't. He's in jail. You know what he's in jail for? Child pornography. And the part that gets me is this. Is my family is full of people that are helpers with master's degrees and all these other things. And yet they could not recognize the signs of abuse that I went through. And they don't want to recognize it because they were part of the problem. And they don't want to take a look at that. See, denial can run deep in a dysfunctional family. It can run deep. No matter how much knowledge is accumulated, sometimes that knowledge is accumulated to provide more protection from the awful thing that happened. See, not everybody else in my family was forced to take a look at their problems. I was. At 14, I was put in a place called Mount Airy Psychiatric Center. I was forced to deal with my problems. Okay. We had to have family meetings every fucking week. I hated it. And I'll tell you what I did. I made them feel as guilty as possible as I could. Absolutely, I did. My brother would complain that he had to go do it. I'm like, I'm here all the time. And you didn't have a part in it. You had a part in it. You just don't want to talk about it. You're not going to admit. You're not going to bring it up. Doesn't feel very fair, does it? See, it was thrown in my fucking face, and I want it back. I want that power back. They can't have it anymore. I might be a little bit more of a dick coming up. Right? I'm finding very strong boundaries. But that thing that oh, man, I wish I still had the video. The abuse, the gaslighting, all that was the closure. It was the closure. It told me what I needed to know. This person wants to hurt me. Yeah. And it's no wonder I've had to live in survival mode for 55 fucking years. How could I trust is not easy with me. And people even sometimes they'll get mad at me. They're like, Dion, it takes so long to get to know you. Well, I'm fucking worth it. I'm worth it. I'm worth the amount of time it takes to get to know because I'll change your whole fucking life, man. I'm not a person that sit back and just let things fly by. I don't work that way anymore. I never really did. I've always kind of run my mouth because I was usually right until the drinking came. And all bets were off the table, man. Right? But it took a lot of work. It took a lot of courage. It took a shit ton of faith in God. Why people are not turning to God is I don't get it, but it's okay. I'm not required to get it. I know that it works. You know that it works. Why aren't we utilizing it more? I'm leaving silence on purpose. All right. So beyond that, it made me I don't want to say it made me actually, no, all of that made me kind of an insensitive person, actually. If it was okay for other people to do that stuff to me, then it was okay for me to do that to other people. See, I was being taught something. Asking why I punched holes in the walls. I was taught that. You taught me to punch holes in the walls. I watched you do it when you got angry with me. Well, I got angry with you, so I did the same thing. But I'm the one that has to but I'm the one that has to be locked up. What about you? Why don't you have to confront your stuff? So I started bringing that up in those family meetings. And gosh, it got very uncomfortable. Well, Dion, why were you punching holes in the wall? Because Wendell taught me how to do that. Our house is full of violence. What are you talking about? Every other day I get beat with a belt. What are you talking about? On me. Well, why are you so angry? Because you made me that way, you fuck nut. Now, I'm 55 and we can't quite use those excuses anymore, can we? No. Now, something unfortunate would happen. My alcoholism would kick in 13, 14 years old. I'd start drinking at that point, and that's where I got emotionally stunted. And I would live that way. And 14-year-old Dion wants to watch the world burn. He was hurt. He was angry. And his thought process was, fuck you. Unless I could get something out of you, then I would use you to get to it. I was taught that. From there, I'd be going into group homes. I did go home after that. I was in Mount Psychiatric Center for 3 months. I missed all of summer. Right? Had to go right back to school when I got back out. That did not fly with Dion. And he ran away. I ran away. It wouldn't be another month or two before, then I was scooped up and put into a Rapo shelter. And I'd be in Gilliam Youth Center 4 times, but I never committed a crime. I never got caught committing a crime. I committed plenty of crimes. I just didn't get caught. I was very good. That includes breaking into people's houses and getting food because I was hungry. I didn't see when I was 17, I ended up on Skid Row, but I've been homeless since I was 14. And I have a home. I have security. I mean, I have friends, family, protection, guidance. No, I had to figure that all out myself. And even to this day, I do things myself. Um, so, game over. I'm done. I just don't. I no longer feel the need for justice anymore. I don't. What's going to happen is what's going to happen. Because more than anything, Dion deserves is freedom. Freedom from the bondage of the bullshit that was done to me, not from the freedom. I've already worked on the freedom of bondage of self. I spent extra time sleeping because it was time to end some things. And I killed them. I killed them all. That's what my dreams are like. I'm like, last night, I was like, fuck it. I know this is a dream. So I killed them. And I talk about who? It's the same people in my dreams. They're gone now. They are not allowed back. Welcome to my boundaries. My boundaries are very rough. They're not easy. Because most of the thing around I am a very rough person. I just am. I don't necessarily mean to be, but shit, fuck it, get shit done. Heather says asking or allowing someone to help me has got to be the hardest thing. Yeah, especially when I don't trust them. It took 2 years for me to trust my therapist. I needed a therapist that was willing to stick around with me for a while. Now I trust her. Now I do. I can talk to her about anything. But it's taken a while. Even in therapy. See, it wasn't the therapist. It was Dion. And I had to focus on what Dion could handle, what Dion could control. Okay. But don't sit here and tell me I can't control other people, because if you think that I can't make the man that raised me, if you think I can't make his life a living hell, you're wrong. I could make it horrible. I could make anybody's life horrible. I'm devious. I'm dangerous. I know that. And I don't want to be that person. So I don't. And I pull my danger back because I love you. I may not trust you. I don't have to trust you to love you. I can love you for who you are. Now, that's easy for me to do because I'm a weird motherfucker. I'm weird. Not even the freaks wanted to hang out with me. Okay. When I'm alone, it's often my wife's like, "Are you talking to me?" No, I was talking to myself. I stem often. I'm just, you know, like I'll give you a good example. We have a timer in the Zoom meetings. Well, right now it's set to like this 60 dance, and I can't help it. I'm like, do, 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 do. I got it. I can't help it. It's stemming. Well, Dion, you're on the spectrum. How about this? How about this? How about you just stop calling me fucking names? I don't care if I'm on the spectrum. I don't care if I don't care anymore. Which means you're gonna kind of get a different Dion coming up. And it'll probably be a lot funnier. Because I actually love cracking jokes. It's one of my favorite things in the world. I love making fun of shit. I'm really good at it. I love making up songs to everyday stuff. I'm really good at it. And that's who I want to go back to being. So that's what I'm going to do. It is a decision. I've made a decision. And the decision is no more. You get no more. Now, if God does something and something miraculous happens and these people want to sit down and talk with me about it, I will. I'm willing to do that. But I'm going to give them a heads up. It's going to be very rough. And if you've been listening to me for any amount of time, you already know I love tough conversations. because they heal. Because they heal people. Right? So we got to make the decision to close it, an intentional decision. Right? Let's see what ChatGPT has about it. So there are differences between hurt and harm. Right? Hurt is unavoidable, but harm violates trust. Why we must separate reaction from reality. What else does betrayal do? Well, it sets off fear, anger, abandonment. It reignites old survival behaviors. Right? When I get triggered, I go into survival mode like that. Well, since I need to be responsible for my triggers, well, who's that on? That would be me. I handle my triggers. If I am angry, it's because I have allowed it to happen. It's a concept that was really hard for me to grasp. I still don't quite grasp it, but I do accept it for what it is because I don't totally agree with it. Because I feel like my feelings are fact. They are as matter of fact as the fact that I'm fucking breathing right now. Yeah. Do they go towards a solution? I don't know. I don't think so. Mm-mm. But if God didn't, then if my emotions aren't facts, then why did God give them to me? How come? How come only? How come only bad emotions are not fact? Love seems to be a fact. Happiness, joy, that all seems to be a matter of fact, doesn't it? See, I think we got something backwards here. I think we're being taught something wrong. That's what my gut tells me. And I listen to my intuition. So I'm going to tell you something. Your feelings are valid, they're real, they exist. Do not ignore them. Put your arm around them. Go for a walk with them. Hey, what's going on here? Self care is the only care. Okay? Don't run around trying to save people. Okay? I can't save anybody. No. I couldn't even save myself. How am I going to save you? But I can be a healer. I can be somebody who understands. I can be somebody who has a little bit of compassion. Oh, there's a feeling again. Should I stop using compassion because it's not real? Bullshit. I call bullshit. A lot of people are not going to agree with me. I don't care. I'm going to do what works for me. If other people want it, great. But I already know 95% don't because they are not willing to go through the rough parts. The really rough parts. Okay. Can't really end it on that, can we? So, what's a path towards closure? Honesty with ourselves, a spiritual willingness, healthy boundaries, letting go without pretending it didn't matter. Now, I'm not going to go for the let go one. No. Closure is the closure part sends it away. You don't need to let it go. Closure is that part. So, no, face it. Face it with God. That's the answer. Face it with God and a few trusted friends. A few trusted friends. You don't, nobody has hundreds of thousands of friends. You don't. You have 2, 3. That's about it. Right? That person, that person that you keep around because they do nothing but compliment you, they want to hurt you. I'm letting you know that. You ever hear of a saying called kill them with kindness? Yeah. People that do nothing but compliment you. They never have a bad thing to say. They're either jealous of what you are doing or They want to hurt you. Maybe not physically, but they do. So they're giving you kindness because, mom always said, if you're not going to say something, So what are they being? They're being nice at their own detriment. Don't be nice, be kind. Kind has respect and compassion, but nice doesn't come with the truth. And without the truth, I'm going to tell you what you have. Absolutely fucking nothing. Well, I'm not going to be able to find out the truth if I don't examine my feelings, which are also the truth. Those feelings lead back to what actually happened. And in this case, it was something extremely disgusting for a man that I have every right to track down, grab him by the throat, and put him through a goddamn wall. I have every right to do that. But I pull it back because I love God. Because I love my wife. Because I love you. Because I love my children. And I yank that back. All right. So, what is the answer? It is God. All right. Hey, sis. I love you. I'm going a little preachy right now, sis. That's my sister, Kathy. Kathy's my sister. She's got 24 years of sobriety, and she's an ass kicker. And I know because she's just like me, but listens to country music. So, forgiveness versus closure. And we're going to end it here. Forgiveness is optional. I do not have to forgive somebody who abused me. I do not have to do that. But I do. For my own sake. Now, I only forgive them in the fact that they don't get more time in my brain. That's as far as it goes. But no. Mm-mm. I'm gonna leave that little twinge of anger in there because I need to protect myself. I'm gonna have that little twinge of anger in there so that if you say the wrong thing to me, I will pull that out and I will put my foot up your ass. I will do it kindly, but I will not be nice about it. Okay? Now I got to be careful there, or I will slip into brutal honesty when what I need is rigorous honesty. Right? Brutal is out, rigorous in. You too, Kathy. I love you. All right. Closure reclaims peace regardless of the other person. I don't have to reconcile to recover. I do not need that in order to recover. Okay. And it's a decision, but it's a very hard one. So no more. No more. We'll do this together. Do you have shit that you're holding on to? Then let's do this. Let's face it together. You are not alone in this. You should never ever be alone. God is always there. Always. He is standing on my shoulder right now, giving me the courage to talk about these things. That is courage. Quit worrying about what this is and what that is and what these people think and what that think, and go give yourself a big fucking heaping helping of courage from God and watch the world change because you decided to do that. You watch, it'll happen. And I know because it happens to me. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And